All right, guys, what's going on? This week we're going to talk about obesity, and it's going to piggyback off last week. Last week we talked about what the obesity epidemic is in America, and this week we're going to talk about children, educating the children, the importance of being a role model to your children, and what we really need to know. So Lauren's going to start us off with some cool points.
All right, so the first one, you guys definitely as parents need to teach your kids about healthy eating and getting physical activity, because school is not doing it anymore. Gym class has turned into taking written tests. Health class is more talking about drugs rather than a healthy lifestyle. And then kids don't really take a cooking class to learn about healthy eating.
So a few points that I want to touch on of what she said was gym. So gym is like optional nowadays. Or you can do it from home. So a lot of kids opt to take that class because it's an elective now, because gym needs to be an elective, and so does nutrition. That to me drives me crazy. But sorry, someone just threw me all the way off, and I'm just gonna continue through this video. Did you see that guy?
No.
He's behind Jaren's truck. All right, anyway. Random side note, there's a random guy at the gym today. So now health, cooking, and gym are all electives in school. So these are things we have to take responsibility of as parents. Although teachers spend a majority of the hours with your kids at school, they're not necessarily teaching them the things that they should be teaching them. Yes, we're learning new math. Yes, we're learning history. Yes, we're learning all this stuff. But what we're not learning is how to take care of our bodies. We're learning what to stay away from. Like they always do drunk driver stuff. They always do drug classes, what to stay away from, what to look for. But they always admit how to take care of yourself. And I know it's simple, but paying attention to just hygiene, really. Like paying attention to hygiene in your internal hygiene, which is taking care of the insides of your body, like your gut health, your brain health, your heart health, which all comes with healthy eating and exercise. So a lot of this video is simply about you. As much as it's about the children, it's about you, and it's about taking responsibility for your kids. Like take responsibility and ownership of, I need to step it up. Like I need to teach my kids more. I need to say, hey, mandatory walk after dinner. Like I know it sounds like, you know what, screw it. It's parenting. Like it sounds like,
and it's gonna help your kids like in school with like getting better grades.
Right.
Like, cause your kid isn't gonna fall asleep at their desk, which I see so many kids do that.
And it's really not only that. It's just having your kid be more mentally aware and mentally focused. And when you should know this, is when you take care of yourself and when you exercise, you perform better, you think better, you're more alert, you're more ready to go. Same thing for your children. Like, I see a lot of you changing your healthy habits, and that's fantastic. But what about the rest of your family? Like, don't leave them high and dry. They're supposed to come along the journey with you. Yes, it's hard. Yes, people have allergies. Yes, they have different foods that they like and dislike and that and the other. Now you're cooking more food. Got it. Let's make it work. And if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So create a plan. Your plan should be, the general vegetable for the day should be this. The general meat for the day should be this. Or if you have to cook 2 meats, you have to cook 2 meats. Well, guess what? If you like both meats, you've got dinner or lunch for the next 2 days. Make things work. It's okay to have leftovers. It's okay to kind of scramble. Don't feel like if your plan goes to all hell that everything failed. Just think, I have a plan, regardless of if I'm putting this into action right now, that I'm going to use it and I'm going to make it worth it. There's a really weird creeper man. We're sorry. Apologies for the creeper man. They're staring at us because we're talking to a phone, but we're actually talking to you. So those are kind of my tips: is take responsibility, teach your kids, do mandatory things, and get them involved. do healthy cooking with them. Teach them how to cook and bake and make healthy substitutes in their food and what to look for. The things that I get to teach you, I wish I had the opportunity to spend time with kids. But unfortunately, I spend time with you, which means if I spend time with you, you should learn it and teach it to your kids.
Yeah, especially if they're super young. The younger you start them, the better, because then they'll just grow up hopefully liking that food and then just continuously working out because it's just a habit and they see you doing it. You're their biggest role model.
Right, and not only that is exactly what Lauren said, is they're going to grow up living healthy lifestyles. So whereas some of us, all of us, grow up and we have bad habits, we all have a bad habit. And instead of having to break multiple bad habits, we're really only focusing on 1 or 2 or 3 bad things rather than, holy hell, I'm a mess, right? That's not what we want to think about. We want to say, hey, we're instilling good habits, which are exercise, even if it's getting them outside to walk for 30 minutes. If your kid is a video gamer, this is like huge for you. You have to be a parent. You have to instill discipline on your children. I know this is tough because parenting is tough, and I'm not speaking because I have children, but I'm speaking because I was a child. And thank God for my parents, because I was a bad kid. Like, I was the one that if you told me to do it, I was like, nope. And I did something completely opposite. So I get it. It's tough. It's hard. I hear from a lot of parents all the time. Kids just don't listen, and they don't want to listen. But if you can make it interesting, if you can make it fun, if you can get them involved in any single way, even just saying, hey, you have to cook dinner with us today, or you have to spend time in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Teach them how to use a food scale. Teach them something new, something that it might interest them. I mean, it's all about finding how to communicate with your children to get them interested. So don't just like get angry and frustrated and say, fine, just play your video games. Like, I hear that so often.
Yeah, I hear that.
It's not just a fine and give in. Like, you're the parent and you mandate the rules. So this is more of a rant on my part, but take ownership and responsibility for your kids. Help them live a healthy lifestyle. Teach them what you're learning. I wish I could bring all the kids in here. We just don't have the space or the personnel to do so. But you have the space at your house to have these children. So teach them. Rant over.
Yep.
That's all I got.
That
Did you have
sounds
any
good.
tips? I didn't
No.
look at your sheets.
No, that was basically it. Just like, especially the whole school thing.
Yeah. Last like major tip on that is, like Lauren keeps saying, is school. Like, pack your kids' lunch. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
Pack your kids' lunch. Because you never know what they're going to get at school. You don't really know how it's made. Yes, you can see the school kitchen. Is it healthy? Probably not. Is it processed? Probably.
Yeah.
So let's do it the right way. Pack their lunch. You know exactly what they're eating and what's going into their body. And you're helping them instill healthy habits. Teaching them to pack their own lunch is like the next step. So work all this in steps like we do here. It's 1% better every day. Instill that with your children. 1% better every single day. Until next week's video. Later.